The next step is to initialize a Git repository in your code and add the first commit. To do so, open up a file browser and navigate to the tethysdev tethysapp earth engine directory where your setup.py is located, and then right-click and select Open in Terminal. Before moving on, make sure that Git is installed by running sudo apt install with the Y option, Git. Give it the password. If it's already installed, you'll see something like this. Otherwise, it should run through and install it. Now that Git is installed, go ahead and initialize the Git repository by running git init. You can see that it initializes an empty repository. To get our code into it, we need to add a commit. So run git add dot to first stage files, and then run git status to see the files that have been staged for the commit. It's important to review the files that you're committing to make sure there's nothing in here that you don't want to be committed with the code base, such as sensitive files or data files that are generated when the application is running. We have a few cases of data files here with the shape files that we uploaded. To remove these files, you can run git rm cached and then give the path to the file or use a pattern. So that removes that file. We can do the same thing for shape and shx. Now if we run git status, we should see that that entire directory is excluded because there are no files that are included, which is good. And now we can review for any final files that we don't want to have included. If you had put your JSON key in here from the last exercise, you'll want to be sure to exclude that as well, as it has a very sensitive key that gives full access to your Google Earth Engine account. Next, we can go ahead and run our commit. Use the M to provide a message and hit enter. Now if you run git status, you should see that there are no files that are staged for commit, but we do have a few untracked files, the shape file that's in the admin directory. So let's go ahead and add those to our git ignore so that we don't have to worry about excluding them in the future. All Tethys apps are scaffolded with a git ignore with some helpful default values. You can use direct paths to these files, or just as we did with the remove command, use a pattern. Now if we go and run our git status, you'll see that we now have a file that is being tracked that has changes, but it's not staged, and we no longer have any untracked files. Let's go ahead and commit this file by first staging it and then committing it. That's one word. And then run git status. And now you can see that we have no changes that are not committed, and there are no untracked files. So this is a nice, clean Git repository.